Okay guys, welcome to my CSGO strategy book. We're going to talk about basic tactics on DE season. We're going to talk about a default tactic, an A bombsite tactic, a split A tactic, a B bombsite tactic, a split B tactic, and a split A from CT spawn. And we'll cover a few extra grenades as well. Alright, for a default tactic, or a picking strategy, this is where you're going to try and get picks across the map, and attack based on where you get the picks or based on where you can force rotates from. So you're going to try and get a pick at the A site or through the A door area onto A, in middle, at the B site, or through the vents jail area. So usually you'd have 1 to 2 guys at the A area, most of your forces in mid, so 2 or 3 guys, and then 1 to 2 guys in the B area as well. If your A guys can get a pick, these guys can go into the A bomb site and either search for more picks or take the A site with help from your mid guys as well. And the vent guys then can rotate into mid to A as well if they want to. If the B guys get a pick, they can rotate into B or rotate out if they can't. And the mid guys can rotate through the vents into B to help them out, or up mid through jail into B to help them out. Or if they want to go through CT as well. The A guys can also rotate back through the door through mid as well, or back through T spawn. Okay, now looking at A bomb site smoke execute. So this is where we're going to have most of our forces come up the A ramp area into the A site. You can have a lurker in mid or at B just to distract, provide a different angle of attack. So we're going to have 3 to 5 guys at the A ramp area, maybe 1 guy in mid, and maybe 1 guy in the B halls area. The smokes for this strategy are high and CT, and the molotovs are going to be behind the second boxes and behind the first boxes close to short. Let's have a look. This smoke here you can do from the door. This lands in the CT smoke quite nicely, blocking it off very cleanly. Stops the rotate through here, and also if they're playing defensively, stops them being able to watch you. You can do this from the A ramp area as well. This is a messier smoke if you don't want to be exposed, and they can run around this smoke, so just be careful. But it can be useful if that's all you've got. If you want to expose yourself to it, you can throw the neater smoke, which does block it off a lot neater. However, you are exposed, so just be careful again. To do the high smoke, you can do this from the A ramp area here. This is neat enough and doesn't expose yourself to high, blocking off that area of attack. For molotov, you can bounce it off this wall here. This will molotov over here, allowing you to plant behind that box. And for the molotov here, you can molotov it bouncing off that box as well. Flashbangs, you can again flash through the door here. This will flash the high area of the site and the CT area of the site quite nicely. You can bounce it off the wall here, and this will flash in the middle of the site here, flashing a lot of places on the site, depending on where they are and where they're looking. You also bounce it off the close wall here, which will flash above the area here, blocking it off quite nicely. Alright, now we're going to look at a split A side smoke execute. This is where we're going to hit A from both the short and the long area at the same time, and the short guys are going to go through mid. You're going to have 1 to 3 guys in the long A area, and 2 to 3 guys in the mid area going to short, and maybe 1 guy at B just to distract. The smokes are close mid, far mid, CT and high, and the molotovs are going to be for behind the first box and behind the bomb box. Let's have a look at how to do these. So the first smoke here, this is part 1 that allows you to get up mid. This blocks off this area here between top mid and the boxes. This allows you to get out to the boxes in mid if you want to. You can then throw a second smoke, which will allow you to get past the boxes into the short area quite nicely, so you can run into short without them noticing. For the smokes onto the A site, there's a few ways you can do these. You can throw it over this wall to land in CT spawn quite nicely. It's very clean smoke, this one. And it doesn't interfere with anything on the site. If you're in short, you can throw this smoke as well. This one is exposed, so just be careful. But it blocks it off quite nicely. If you're out here, you can bounce it off this pillar here. This does not block it off nicely at all, so just be careful. And they can run around this smoke. But it does not leave you exposed while throwing it, so it can be an okay smoke to throw. For high, you can throw this from short if you wish. This does leave you exposed, so just be careful. But it does block it off quite nicely. If you don't want to be exposed, you can throw it from the A ramp area. This will block it off nicely without being exposed. For molotovs, you can do these from short and bounce off this back wall. This will molotov behind that bomb box there. Or you can throw it from the A ramp area, molotov off this same spot here, forcing them out of that position. You can use this back wall here to molotov off behind that first box if you want to clear that spot. Or you can use the bomb box to do that as well. For flashbangs, there's a few flashbangs that you can do. To get out mid, you can throw a flashbang over this wall here. This will flash the middle area quite nicely. You can just throw flashbangs out top mid if you want to. This will also flash middle area quite nicely. To flash the site, you can flash from short as well, over the top of this roof. This will flash lots of places on the site, but only if they're looking towards the left, so just be careful. You can also flash bouncing it off this wall here. This can also flash people looking left, however they can see this flash coming and turn away from it, so just be careful. You can flash over the top from the door area as well. This will flash most places on site. It does depend on where they're looking, so just be careful. Combine it with other flashes as well. So this is another flash you can do. This will flash on the middle of the site. It is a very easy to flash for them to dodge, but if you combine it with other flashes, they should get flashed quite nicely. You can use this pillar as well if you want to flash. This pops a bit in the air, flashing the pit area there quite nicely. Alright, now let's look at a B-bomb site smoke execute. So this is where you're going to have most of your forces on the B-bomb site area. And you'll have maybe one in mid to distract, or one at the A-bomb site area to distract and pull rotates off if needed. So you have 3 to 5 guys in the B-bomb site, maybe one at mid, and maybe one at A. The smokes for this strategy are 2 smokes for CT and 1 smoke for the high or upper area, and the molotovs are towards the right of the back and towards the left at the front. So this first smoke here, you can do from all the way at T-spawn if you want to. This goes through the windows at the B-bomb site. This blocks off the first door here quite nicely. Once you're up, you can also do it from up here as well, bouncing it off this pillar. Again, it only blocks the first door, so they can still look through that second roller door. You can also do it from high as well. You're a little bit exposed when you do this one, so just be careful. This one does help block off a bit more of the second door as well, but they can still see around it. For the second door, you can do this from T-spawn as well. This blocks the second door here off quite nicely. Combining these 2 smokes completely blocks off the CT area. Again, you can do this from the lower area here. This blocks it off quite nicely. And again, you can do this from high as well. I would not recommend trying to do 2 from the same spot, unless you're doing it from T-spawn, as they are very close next to each other to throw. For the high smoke, you can smoke off this from the lower area here. Smokes off the high area quite nicely, however it is exposed when you're throwing it, so just be careful. You can do this from the high area as well. This is less exposed when you're throwing it, so probably the preferred one. It blocks off quite nicely. The molotovs. To molotov off the back area of the site at the right here, you can molotov there. This molotovs off that box using cover, forcing them out of that position there quite nicely. To molotov off the left side area, you can do that as well. This stops them using that position as cover. It forces them out. Just be careful, immediate left you still have to check. For flashbangs, you can also flash through the windows if you want to. The windows do not need to be broken, as when they break, they do not slow down the trajectory of the grenade. You can flash through the ramp or the lower area as well if you want to. This flashes in the middle of the site and flashes some spots as well. You can pop flash here as well if you want to. This will flash anybody actively watching the lower area, but will not flash anybody who's not watching and playing it safe. At the high area you can flash as well if you want to. This is a bit of a less useful flash, but it can work as well, and they can see it coming, so just be careful. Alright, now we'll look at a split B site smoke execute. So this is where you're going to attack B from the lower, the upper jail area all at once. This is a very useful tactic, as it eliminates positions they can be on the B site and positions they're exposed to on the B site. So you have 2 to 3 guys coming in from the upper and the lower area, 2 to 3 guys coming from mid, and maybe 1 guy at A to distract while the ball rotates off if needed. The smokes are for the left side of middle, for the upper area on the B side, and for the back area of the CT spawn. Molotovs are for the close left and for the bomb box as well. For the left side of middle, there are a few ways of doing the smoke. You can do this from T-spawn here quite nicely without being exposed. This is a jump smoke, so just be careful, it'll change based on tick rate. But it does smoke it off quite nicely, and you are not exposed when doing it. You can also do it from further back in T-spawn, if you want to. This is not a jump smoke, but it is a running smoke. It can also change based on tick rate, so just be careful and practice them before you throw it. If you're out middle you can do it as well. This does leave you exposed, but it's neither a running nor a jump smoke, so it can be easier to throw. This allows you to get to the jail area without being spotted from the left side of mid. Once you're in the jail area, you can smoke off this area here to allow you across. You can also do this from this B ramp here area as well. You can do this from high. This is super exposed and I would not recommend doing this from here, but it can work. This stops the long rotate from CT to B site, allowing you to get into B quite easily without having to worry about people rotating. You can smoke off upper from the lower area here quite nicely. It is exposed a little bit, so just be careful, but it does block it off. If you want to be less exposed, you can do it from the upper area, which will block it off quite nicely. For the Molotov, you can use the middle pillar here to Molotov behind the middle boxes on the site, forces them out and into the open, or behind the smokes. You can also do this from the upper area as well, to Molotov from there. To Molotov off the left side of the site here, you can throw this from the lower area as well, or you can throw it from the upper area if you want to as well, depending on how you want to play it. For the flashbangs, to get out middle, you can flash over the wall here. This flashes up in middle, flashing most places in the middle area of the site. You can also flash just out middle if you want to. This will also flash a lot of places in the site as well. To flash B site, there are a couple ways of doing this. You can flash through the windows. This will flash both places on the site, however only if they're watching the right hand side as well. You can flash through the B area here. This does flash most of the site, but it can be easily seen if they're looking for it. To do a less seen flash, you can do a pop flash here. This will flash anybody actively watching the B doors quite nicely, but it will not flash anybody playing it super safe. You can flash from the upper area as well. This is not a useful flash, so just be careful when you're throwing it, but it can still be useful. Alright, now we're going to look at a split A site tactic where we're going to go from CT spawn. So this is where we're going to hit A from the lower area, from the short area, and from the CT area all at once. So you're going to have 1 to 2 guys in the lower A area, 2 to 3 guys short area, and 1 to 2 guys in CT area here, and maybe one at B just to distract if you want to. The smokes are going to be for the jail area and for the upper area. The molotovs are going to be behind the first box and behind the bomb box. Alright, let's have a look at how to do these. To smoke off the jail, the only smoke you can really do is going out mid and exposing yourself, but you can smoke off jail from here quite nicely. Smoking off upper, you can smoke it off from short quite nicely. This smokes off the upper area very neatly and doesn't leave you guys exposed. However, you can do this from the lower A area or the A ramp area. This smokes off better, it does not leave you exposed, so it's the preferred smoke in this strategy. For Molotov, you can throw this from the short area as well if you want to. Or you can throw this from the A ramp area here as well. Small toss behind the bomb box, forcing them out of that position. To Molotov behind the first box, you can do this from short quite nicely. Or you can do this from the A ramp area here, bouncing it off the bomb box if you want to. For flashbangs, to get out mid, you can flash over the mid area here, quite neatly flashing out mid, flashing lots of positions in the middle area. You can also flash out mid, hitting the post in the middle. This also flashes lots of positions in mid. To flash A site, you can flash over the wall here from A, quite neatly flashing lots of places on the A site. However, it does not flash every place, and it only flashes if they're looking leftwards. From short, you can also do a normal flash out. This flash they can see and dodge usually, but it can work, so just be careful. You can flash over this wall here from the door as well if you want to. Again, they still have to be looking left to get flashed by this, but since you've got forces coming from the short, they should be looking that way. You can use the wall here to flash in the middle of the site if you want to. However, this flash can be easily seen and easily turned away from. And you can use the close pillar as well to flash if you want to. And this does flash pit quite nicely, but again it can be easily turned away from. Alright, now let's have a look at some extra grenades. So this first smoke here will smoke off the CTA area. It does not smoke it off completely, so just be careful, but it can be done all the way from T-spawn. It can be good as a fake, and it can be good if you're coming from short, as it smokes off the short side, and it doesn't smoke off the right side. This next smoke here will smoke off the upper area of the A site. This actually does it quite neatly, but again this is running jumping smoke, so it can be different based on tick rate, so just be careful. This smoke here will smoke off the middle of the B site, blocking off both doors to the site. However, they can run around the smoke, so just be careful. It does smoke off both doors to the lower area. This smoke here will smoke off the left side of the site. It is a worse smoke than the one used for the B Bombsite strategy, as it leaves a bit of the right hand side exposed. This smoke here will smoke off the jail area, allowing you to pass the vents if you wish, without being spotted and without being shot down. This smoke here allows you to get out of the vents to mid if you want to. It does leave a little bit exposed on the right hand side, so just be careful. This molotov here will molotov off the tree area, forcing them out of that position, or into your crosshairs if you're there. This molotov will molotov off the pit if they're playing that position, so just be careful. This molotov will molotov off the boost up here, forcing them out or forcing them into the seaboard part. This flashbang will flashbang the B ramp area, allowing you to take that position. It also flashes part of the B side as well, a useful flash. This flashbang will flash up the top of B, allowing you to push up there if you want to. This flashbang here will flash out vents, allowing you to get across jail and flashing people playing it if you want to go that way. You can do this from the other side of the vents if you want to, using the back wall here to flash out. Pops anybody waiting to cross. If you're out here from jail, you can flash mid. This is a flash that can be easily seen and easily avoided, but it can work if you want to use it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.